Let's begin. Today's September 5th, 2024, and we're solving the Daily Turing Machine Puzzle. Today's puzzle uses the following 5 criteria cards. Criteria card 2, 7, 9, 11, and 21. And the puzzle uses the purple verification cards. The code above is your way to get more information on today's puzzle by searching the code on turingmachine.info. Let's go solve. So in the grid above, we've got our 5 criteria cards. On the top row, we've got criteria card A, criteria card B, and criteria card C. On the bottom row, we've got criteria card D and criteria card E. Criteria card A looks at our first digit, the triangle digit, and we'll be comparing it to the number 3. So should the value of triangle be less than 3? Should it be equal to 3? Or should it be greater than 3? Criteria card B looks at our last digit, the circle digit, and will let us know whether its value is an even digit or an odd digit. Criteria card C looks at our 3-digit solution and will let us know how many of those digits are 3. Are there no 3s? Is there a single 3? Perhaps 2? Maybe even all 3 are 3. Criteria card D looks at our first 2 digits, triangle and square, and will compare them. So should the value of triangle be less than square? Should they be equal? Or should triangle be greater than square? And finally, criteria card E again looks at our 3-digit solution, but this time will let us know a little bit about the structure of the 3-digit code. Specifically, is there a pair in the code, as in the example 131, or alternatively, there are no pairs, but there are 2 scenarios there, where either all the digits are distinct, as in the example 134, or all the digits are the same, as in the example 222. Remember, the objective of today's puzzle is to find that one unique code that abides by all of the 5 criteria cards we just described. And we're going to start off with an initial proposal of 314. So the first thing I want to do is I want to test criteria card B. Okay, so the Turing Machine does not approve of my choice for circle. I did choose an even 4. Since the Turing Machine disagrees with that, it's letting me know that that circle should actually be an odd digit. So let's go ahead and type that up in section B. And that again is that circle is an odd digit. And since it is odd, that means I can cross out both evens. So cross out the number 2 and the number 4. Okay, so the next thing I think I'll test is criteria card E. Oops. Okay, so the Turing Machine disagrees with my proposal. Notice that I do have all distinct digits, 3, 1, 4. They're all different. That's a no pair scenario, but the Turing Machine does not agree with that. So it's letting me know that in fact there is a pair in our solution. So let's go ahead and type that up in section E. And that's that the solution has a pair. Now at this point, we don't know, it could be even a pair of evens. Triangle and square could be both even. But if they're all odd, again, it could be that triangle and square are paired up, or one of the first 2 is paired up with circle. We just don't know. But those are things that we should be asking and anticipating going forward. So let's see, what else? We do have this comparison. It could be, that they are equal. Let's see. Trying to decide which is a better criteria card to test going into round 2. Again, we do have a pair. Very interesting. Well, I know this will fail for me because all of my digits are not equal. I think I'd rather test criteria card A, and let's see what. Well, that's also an iffy proposition because it is exactly 3. Not that it couldn't be, but, yeah, let me go back. Let me go ahead and test criteria card D. Okay, so got lucky in this case. So the Turing Machine does approve of my comparison between triangle and square. Notice that I did choose a 3 for triangle and a 1 for square. So in my proposal, my triangle is larger than square. And so that's what the Turing Machine agrees with. So that was criteria card D, and that is, again, that triangle is greater than square. And so let's see, what can we conclude from that? Well, if triangle is to be greater than square, then I don't think triangle can be a 1. Because if triangle were 1, there isn't anything smaller than 1. So we can cross out triangle 1. And similarly, I don't think square could be 5, because if square were 5, there's nothing larger for triangle to be. Okay? And I think that may be it. Okay. Yeah, so we completed our 3 Turing tests for round 1. Now we're going into the phase where we'll be discussing how to construct a good second round proposal. So obviously I did not test criteria card A, comparing the first digit, triangle digit, with a number 3. I also didn't query how many 3s there might be in our solution, and that's it. So it really kind of comes down to those 2 criteria cards, and obviously the knowledge that we acquired from round 1 that should help us find that good second round proposal. So let's see. Well, with the exception of 1s, it looks like square and circle are not equal to each other, right? Because there's always, I take that back, there's also 3s. So 1s and 3s for square and circle do match up. But let's see, what else? Remember, we're trying to see how these cards sort of interact with each other so that we can find that unique solution. And also, how many 3s? Obviously, sky's the limit, right? We can go from none to 3. There's no exclusion at this point. Now, that said, there is a possibility where maybe there are no 3s, and that somehow helps us find out, what 2 digits are paired up. Yeah, I'm trying to see. Well, we know, okay, so we know for sure triangle and square are not equal, right? So we know it's not these 2 that are paired up. So it's either going to be triangle, circle, or square and circle. So triangle, square. Yeah, triangle, square has, 2, 3, and 4 to match up. And then square and circle have the 1s and 3s to match up. So a lot of possibilities. Let's see. And between triangle and square, we should be looking at numbers along these diagonals, since triangle is to be greater than square. Oh, yeah, I guess maybe I misspoke earlier, but yeah, and between triangle and circle, the only things that they have in common are 3 and 5. So, okay. So yeah, so it's circle that's going to be matched up. So it's either going to be they're going to be two odds. So it's either going to be 1s, 3s, or 5s. Now, how would criteria card A and C help us there? So if there are no 3s, then what would not match up? Maybe triangle would be less than 3, making it a 2. And then how would we choose? Oh, and of course, since triangle has to be greater, that would force square to be 1, and then matching up with circle 1. That may be a possibility. Yeah, let's go with that. So 2, 1, 1. So I'm hoping no 3s, and triangle is going to be less than 3. And actually, we may be able to deduce no 3s. Okay, so yeah, let's go with that. 2, 1, 1. And so this is what I mean, is that if I test criteria card A and it is less than 3, we know it's a 2, and then that forces square to be 1, and then circle would default to 1. That's a big ask, but let's try it. So let's test criteria card A. No. Okay. So triangle is not less than 3, so therefore it's not a 2. Okay, and so if it's not a 2, does that change anything for square? No, I don't think so, because all of the squares are less than one of the triangle values. Yeah, that doesn't change anything. Okay, well, let's test criteria card C. Okay, that is also incorrect. Okay, so what does that mean? We know there can't be all 3s, and it also didn't like the fact that there were no 3s. So either there is a single 3 or a pair of 3s. Okay, oh no, I think I'm going to have to go to the third round unless I can make some deductions. Well, first of all, let me catch up here. I didn't write down my notes for A, and that is that. Oh, yeah, so I don't know what triangle is. So triangle is either equal to or greater than 3. Okay, and then for C, we'll say there are, let's see, what do we say? There can't be 3 3s, and didn't like no 3. So there's either 1 or 2 3s. Oh wow, there are 1 or 2 3s. Okay, well, okay, so let's entertain the possibility that the first two are, well, the first two cannot be 3. Oh, okay, right, because we know that triangle has to be greater. So let's entertain the fact that square and circle are 3. Okay, so if square and circle are 3, obviously triangle cannot be 3. It could be either 4 or 5. But if that were the case, that would be an ambiguous solution. How would I choose between 4 and 5? So no, square and circle cannot be both 3, because I don't know how to choose between 4 and 5. They're both greater than 3, and none of the other criteria cards help me differentiate. Okay, then the other case would be triangle and circle to be 3, and so how would I choose between 1 and 2 for square? Again, I think that would be ambiguous. They're both less than 3, so there's no way for me to distinguish between 1 and 2 for square. And those are the only two possibilities for 2 3s, because we know that triangle has to be greater. So I'm deducing that there's only a single 3. So let's, I guess let's modify this. There is 1 3. Oops. And we'll, oops, that's not what I want. There we go. I couldn't really see that. It was being crossed out. Yeah, so there's a single 3. So the single 3, and then what's it going to be paired up with? So I'm thinking that, well, oh yeah, so there's a single 3. So if, say, triangle were 3, the only thing to pair up square and circle would be the 1s. That's a possibility. I guess, and we know we could do that because there's a card that allows us. Why would square be 3? If square were 3, then obviously it could be 5 and 5 for triangle and circle. But, well, yeah, but how would you choose square to be 3? What would compel it? I just don't see it. Same thing, I guess, with triangle. Well, actually, sorry. Actually, circle can't be 3. Because if circle were 3, that would force triangle and square to be equal. Okay, so that's good. So we know circle can't be 3. Again, I don't see how square would be compelled to be 3. Let's see, if, yeah, I would almost think that it's going to be 3, 1, 1. So I think I am done with this round because none of the other cards would help us to that endeavor. But it seems, very plausible that it's 3, 1, 1. So let's go ahead and do one quick third round proposal. And I'm going to say 3, 1, 1. So we're going to do a new round. And so 3, 1, 1. And I think it's safe to just test criteria card A. And then that would force square to be 1 and then circle to be 1 because there's nothing to match up for the pairs. Okay, so let's do A. Okay, yes. So yeah, triangle is, well, let's just type it up. So I feel confident that since there's a single 3 and we've already established it to be triangle, and then that because of the matching, it forces square and circle to be 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and verify that. So let's see if 3, 1, 1 is our solution. So 3, 1, 1. Okay, fantastic. And how do we do versus a Turing machine? So we did go to 3 rounds. So that's not good. It's not, perfect, but we'll see. I believe I probably did not beat the Turing machine because it probably did it in 2 rounds. So let's see. What do we tested B, D, E, and D was the only correct one. In the second round, we did the other 2, and they were both wrong, and then A was correct. So B, D, E. So B, D was the only correct one. E was also incorrect. A and C were wrong in the second round. And in the third round, A was correct. So let's see. Yeah, as I suspected. So yeah, we both did in 6 questions, but it took me 3 rounds, and the Turing Machine took 2 rounds. So somehow this image is broken. So yeah, so again, it's one of those cases where, I guess I was hamstrung on round 2. I could not test another criteria card, or it wouldn't have been beneficial. So I probably should have tested either A or C in the first round, and more than likely A would have been probably the better one. But what would I have not? Which one should I not have tested in round A? I don't know. But in any case, still a fun puzzle. So it's always that anticipation that's so thrilling. Well, what do you think? How did you solve it? Did you get it in 2 rounds? And please add those ideas and thoughts in the comment section. If you like the video, please do give it a thumbs up so that more people can find this channel. And of course, hit subscribe to be notified and not miss out on any future videos. Well, until next time, have a great one.